Welcome to Red Power, beloved. My name is Dr. Emmanuel Chumesiankra, your Bible teacher. Today, I am leading you in this Bible study from the book of Ruth. And the topic I have carved out of the book of Ruth is what wins an authentic man? What wins an authentic man? The charm of Ruth. Now, we are taking our text from Ruth, chapter 2, verses 1 following. I read, Now Naomi had a relative of her husband, a wealthy man of the clan of Elimelech, whose name was Boaz. And Ruth, the Moabite, said to Naomi, Let me go to the field and glean among the ears of grain after him in whose sight I shall find favor. And she said to her, Go, my daughter. So she set out and went and gleaned in the field after the reapers. And she happened to come to the part of the field belonging to Boaz, who was of the clan of Elimelech. And behold, Boaz came from Bethlehem, and he said to the reapers, The Lord be with you. And they answered, The Lord bless you. Then Boaz said to his young man who was in charge of the reapers, Whose young woman is this? And the servant who was in charge of the reapers answered, She is the Moabite woman who came back with Naomi from the country of Moab. She said, Please, let me glean and gather among the sheaves after the reapers. So she came, and she has continued from early morning until now, except for a short rest. Then Boaz said to Ruth, Now listen, my daughter. Do not go to glean on another field or leave this one, but keep close to my young women. Let your eyes be on the field that they are reaping and go after them. Have I not charged the young men not to touch you? And when you are thirsty, go to the verses and drink what the young men have drawn. Then she fell on her face, bowing to the ground, and said to him, Why have I found favor in your eyes, that you should take notice of me, since I am a foreigner? But Boaz answered her, All that you have done for your mother-in-law since the death of your husband has been fully told to me, and how you left your father and mother and your native land and came to a people that you did not know before. The Lord will repay you for what you have done, and the full reward be given you by the Lord, the God of Israel, under whose wings you have come to take refuge. Then she said, I have found favor in your eyes, my Lord, for you have comforted me and spoken kindly to your servant, though I am not one of your servants. And at meantime, Boaz said to her, Come here and eat some bread and dip your morsel in the wine. So she sat beside the reapers, and he passed to her roasted grain. And she ate until she was satisfied, and she had some left over. When she rose to glean, Boaz instructed his young men, saying, Let her glean even among the sheaves, and do not reproach her. And they also pull out some from the bundles for her, and leave it for her to glean, and do not rebuke her. So she gleaned in the field until evening. Then she beat out what she had gleaned, and it was about an ephah of barley. And she took it out and went into the city. Her mother-in-law saw what she had gleaned. She also brought out and gave her what food she had left over after being satisfied. Thank you very much. I've read up to verse 18. Remember, I said that my topic today from this text in Ruth chapter 2 is what wins an authentic man? The charm of Ruth. What wins an authentic man? You know, many times people are of the view that they have to fake life in order to please their superiors. Some women think that they have to fake their lives, fake their beauty, in order to please men for marriage. But today, the topic we are going to discuss will help every one of us to know that we don't need to live a fake life in order to please anybody. But there are very important attitudes that one needs to put up in order to win the heart of an authentic man, in order to win the heart of our bosses, our managers, directors, and husbands and wives, and so on. Now, in this section, an authentic man refers to one who is real, genuine, reliable, dependable, responsible, realistic, as was read in verse 1 of Ruth chapter 2. He said that Boaz was a worthy man. The word worthy, the phrase worthy man is what I term authentic man. And one can liken such a man to the modern British important, highly respected personality recognized as a knight, K-N-I-G-H-T, a knight, who is addressed as a sir. In British, among the British, they have people they call sirs. These people that are called sirs are basically knights. Knights are highly distinguished people who have excelled in their field of endeavor. It's actually in the olden days to refer to mighty soldiers, but now it is widely used. Now it is widely used for people who have distinguished themselves and have excelled in their field of endeavor. So today we have Sir Alex Ferguson. He's not a soldier. He is a football administrator. Because he has served in football, the British Queen Elizabeth II, he conferred on him, he honored him as a knight, and is therefore called Sir Alex Ferguson. There are a lot of sirs. Even the Brazilian Pele. Pele used to be, he used to be a sir. But one thing about the British is that if it is conferred on you as a knight, you have to naturalize as a British before the knighthood. You can actually have an enjoyment of who a knight is. So, an authentic man in my lesson here is referring to a person that has excelled in his field of endeavor. A reliable person, a realistic person, a genuine person, a dependable person, a great person. So I am going to teach all of us how to win an authentic man. Now, what about a charm? Because I am saying what wins an authentic man, the charm of Ruth. A charm, on the other hand, describes an object of attraction. An object of attraction. In this study, it stands for what Ruth had and displayed, which attracted, fascinated, and mesmerized Boaz. So the authentic man in this study is referring to Boaz, according to Ruth chapter 2. Now, it is said that Ruth became attractive to Boaz, and that attraction ended up in marriage. When Ruth, as a Moabite, got to Judah, she became the wife of the most important personality on the land. Why and how? That is what we want to learn. So that we will understand that in our days, we don't need to fake lives. We don't need to bribe our way into the heart of authentic men. We don't need to go naked or half naked. We don't need to give sex in order to win the heart of authentic men. We don't need to do any other thing that is negative, that is uncalled for, in order to win the heart of our bosses and our directors and managers. But there are great attitudes that we are supposed to put up in order to win the heart of such people in authority. Now, let's get it here. Ruth is our case study. Ruth showed a sense of responsibility and the ability to think outside the box and initiate a course of action. That is one of the attitudes that Ruth put across that is so important. It is said in Ruth 2, verse 2, it says, "And Ruth the Moabite said to Naomi, let me go to the field and glean among the ears of grain after him, in whose sight I shall find favor. And Naomi said, go, my daughter." Now here, you can see that when youth realize the situation they have found themselves in, that is a poor situation, a situation of poverty, she and Naomi have found themselves. She did not sit still. She did not complain and engage in blame game, but she thought about it and figured out a solution. Then she discussed the issue, the solution with her mother, Naomi, and took the necessary action. This is so important for you and me to learn. When she went to the fields, she knew what to do. That is the right thing to do. Ruth knew. And the right way to do the right thing. This is also an important attitude. Knowing what to do. That is knowing the right thing to do. And then knowing how to do that right thing is an important thing for us to learn as young people today. Now check it. So she sought permission. Yes. She pleaded with the people in charge of the reapers if she could join the poor gleaners on the field. We read it when the servant was telling Boaz about Ruth. Boaz asked the servant, who is this young woman? He said, oh, she is the Moabite that came with Naomi. But she came to me and begged me to allow her to join the gleaners. Meaning that Ruth went to the man and sought for permission and begged him to allow him to join the gatherers. This is so important an attitude for us to learn from Ruth. Yes. Though on the face value, she needed not to have done that. Before people were harvesting their crops in every harvesting year, to leave some of the sheep, leave some of the produce on the farm for poor people to gather. It was in the law. It was in the Torah. It was a command that you could not gather everything from your farm. You need to leave some, especially at the edges of the farm, at the borders, so that poor people could go and gather them to also survive, so that they can also survive. It was more or less like a poverty alleviation program in Israel that Yahweh instituted for them. So Ruth didn't really have to beg to do it, because it was more or less like her right as a poor person. But Ruth knew the right thing to do and how to do that right thing. The right thing to do was to beg. Why? Because she understood that the landowner, could decide which gleaners were to be permitted on his farm. So it was a law that a landowner should leave some produce, but the landowner could say that I don't want this particular poor person to come to my farm. I want this group of poor people to come. That was the landowner's right, and Ruth understood it. So that is the right thing. And she knew how to do the right thing by seeking for permission. While she was on the field too, Ruth knew why she was there. She focused on gleaning, nothing more, nothing else. She worked hard and worked harder every day. Resting when necessary. It seems she kept going and coming so that she could gather much of the produce, as if that was her last chance of contributing to alleviating her household from the poverty situation. As you read from verse 3, it says that, so she set out and went and gleaned in the field after the reapers. And she happened to come to the part of the field belonging to Boaz, who was of the clan of Elimelech. Meaning that it was not just one time. She kept on going, moving from field to field. Till she came to the one that belonged to Boaz. This shows hard work on the part of Ruth, which is also important for us to learn. But let's watch this. Possibly, the young reapers could be distractive. The young women too could be chatty, and the gleaners could be whiners, grumblers, and envious. But she, that is Ruth, determined not to be distracted by the young reapers, nor the women, nor the gleaners. Because Boaz said, I have commanded the young men not to touch you. Meaning that when poor people went to the field, sometimes the young reapers who are under the landowner could fidget, especially with the females, fidget with them, sometimes could embarrass them and threaten them and all that, could molest them. But Ruth will not be distracted. She knew that she was there for a purpose. She knew the time and the place. She knew that she was there to gather leftovers in order to alleviate the poverty situation in her household. She was not there for romantic activities. She was not there for gossiping and all that. She focused. So it is also a good attitude for us to learn that whatever we are doing, wherever we find ourselves, we need to focus. Now, authentic men are immediately attracted by people who portray the attitudes displayed by Ruth. Yes, such attitudes cannot go unnoticed. When you put up an attitude such as Ruth did, Ruth could take initiative. She could think outside the box and take a necessary course of action. You know, she could work harder and harder. She could go to the extent of becoming humble and taking the right decisions, you know, and doing the right thing and becoming focused. These attitudes cannot go unnoticed. Authentic men, great men, you know, managers and directors and owners, CEOs, and potential husbands and potential wives easily notice these attitudes because these attitudes are special. They are one out of many. Yes, they are seldom. They don't always happen. They are charming and charming. So now let me try to summarize the charm of Ruth for you, meaning that the things that Ruth had and displayed which attracted the authentic man Boaz, so that we can also apply to our lives. What attitudes can we put across or put up wherever we are in order to attract the attention of our bosses, our directors, our managers, our CEOs, potential husbands, potential wives, so that we don't need to fake life, we don't need to pay bribe. Let me summarize such attitudes that I have gleaned from the story of Ruth for you. Number one is a sense of responsibility. You must display a sense of responsibility in order to attract or win an authentic man, which Ruth did. Ruth and Naomi were all living in Bethlehem, but Ruth just looked at the situation they had found themselves, and then she thought about it and figured out what could be done in order to solve the problem. Every authentic man is looking for people, subordinates, workers, colleagues that can think outside the box and bring solution to existing problems. That is what we call emotional intelligence. You need it wherever you are. Number two is the ability to think outside the box. Ruth thought outside the box. There are people when you are working with, you are always waiting for them to be instructed. So if you are not there and something is going wrong, something is spoiling in the firm, in the company, they will wait for it to spoil till the CEO comes. That is not a good thing. That is not good enough. Every CEO, every head or leader, every authentic man, every potential husband or wife is looking for a partner, is looking for a colleague worker or a subordinate who can think outside the box. They watch, and you can attract them by that. Number three is ability to initiate a course of action. When you are able to think outside the box and you know exactly what to do, can you actually go on your way, on your own way, and make it happen? Ruth did. Ruth said, let me go and follow the reapers, enjoying the poor gleaners, and get food for us to eat, or else we die out of hunger. Number four is having a know-how. What I mean here is that knowing what to do or the right thing to do. Yes. When there's a problem, wherever you find yourself, you are in school, you are working in the hospital, you are teaching, you are lecturing, you are in a business field, you are in a church, wherever you find yourself, people are looking for people who have a know-how, who know the right thing to do. The right thing to do. Nowadays, it's not so much about certificates, because many people have the same certificate as you have. You have a degree, several people have it. You have masters, several people have it. But what will make you stand out is to display a know-how, a skill, to display that you are someone who know what to do, who know the right thing to do. The next attitude or charm of Ruth that attracted that authentic man, and you, if you put up, it will attract an authentic man towards you, is that knowing and displaying the right way to do or the right thing to do. You see, it is not enough to just have a know-how, but you need to also display it, the right way of doing it. There are people who know that they must be humble, but they don't know how to be humble. They know that in a workplace, they must respect authority, but they don't know how to display their respect. So when they are talking to their managers, their bosses, they talk anyhow. They throw their hands anyhow. Meanwhile, this person is not in any way attempting to disrespect the boss. But the problem is that he doesn't know how to display the right thing. So there's one thing to know what to do, and there's another thing to know how to do what to do. The how is also important. We need to learn that. The next attitude or charm that can attract an authentic man is what I call courteousness. I mean politeness. I mean civility and good manners. Wherever you find yourself, if you're a lady, for you to attract an authentic potential man, even for marriage, you need to display courteousness, politeness, civility, good manners. If you are in a firm, in a company, in an education center, in a health sector, in an engineering field, wherever you find yourself in a church, I can tell you, if you don't display good manners, civility, politeness, courteousness, many people will shun you. It's an important attitude to learn. I share with you. Ruth displayed it. When Boaz beckoned her, called on her, look at the courteousness. She bowed down with her face touching the ground and say, "Oh, I don't deserve this." Very courteous. Look at her going to the servant who is in charge of all the reapers, the person who was working on behalf of Boaz before Boaz came. She went to the man and sought permission, begged him. That is an attitude of courteousness, politeness. We displayed it and we can learn it. The next one is that you need to be focused. Being focused is a good attitude. Wherever you find yourself, you must be focused on what the core business, what you are expected to do, focus on it. If you are at a workplace, the workplace is not, it's not a place, it's not a romantic place. You don't go to the workplace and play romance. If you are a woman and a man begins to show interest in you, you must be careful how you give in. If you easily give in when men show interest in you at the workplace, they will consider you to be cheap. Because the business, focus on it. There's time for everything. Ruth knew it. So when she was on the field, though the young reapers could be distractive, Ruth did not allow them to distract her. She was there for a business. She was there to gather produce, to feed her household. Nothing more, nothing less. Let us learn it. Don't go to places where there's a core business and then you take your eye off the core business and do some other things. People are watching. Both the authentic men at the top and the authentic men at the same level with you, authentic men below you, they are all watching you, whether you could be focused or not, whether you are someone who is a focused person or you could easily be distracted. It can help you being an authentic man. The next one is hard work. Hard work pays. I can tell you, hard work pays. If you're someone who does not want to work hard, you will not win an authentic man. Ruth was hardworking. She kept on going and coming, going and coming. And the manager testified of her that since she came, she had worked from morning to evening. She only rests when the need be. When you go to work, what do you do? When you go to school, what do you do? What do your colleague students know you for? What do your colleague workers know you for? What do your colleague church members, fellow church members know you for? People must know you for hard work, that they can testify that, oh, that lady is a hardworking lady. That young man is a hardworking young man. That can attract authentic men so that you can get the position you need. You can get that promotion. You don't get promotion by bribing your bosses, by giving them sex. No, you can get your promotion, get the position that you need by displaying a sense of hard work. It can win it. Now the next one is ability to overcome distractions. Like I said, don't be distracted by unnecessary things. Anywhere you find yourself, focus on the core business. Nothing more, nothing less. And the next one is readiness to sacrifice. You can see that Ruth has sacrificed, and Boaz said it. Boaz said that what all that you have done for your mother-in-law since your husband died, it has been told to me fully. You have sacrificed by leaving your country, your parents, and all that you are doing, and follow this woman. All that Boaz was trying to say was that Ruth has shown sacrificial spirit. You know, authentic men are attracted by people who are ready to sacrifice. Authentic men, whether in the sense of marriage, in the sense of promotion in business, and whatever, authentic men are attracted to people who can sacrifice. It's so important. We need to learn it. According to verse 11 of Luke chapter 2, she sacrificed. Ruth sacrificed. It was the sacrifice on the sacrificial spirit of Ruth that is also going to be one of the reasons why Boaz was going to be attracted to Ruth even into marriage. And last but one I share with you is high level of humility. Display high level of humility wherever you find yourself. High level of humility. Ruth displayed high level of humility when Boaz, honored her. She found favor before Boaz. She bowed down with her face on the ground. She humbled herself, and she kept on telling Boaz that she was a foreigner. She didn't deserve whatever Boaz was trying to do for her. That is humility. She actually began to display that humility from her house. It was because Ruth was humble, that is why she could accept that low level of becoming a poor person and joining poor people in gathering leftovers on the field. She did not come to their mother-in-law's house, and when there was no food, and then sat there and blamed the mother-in-law and grumbled and all that. She humbled herself and joined the poor people. Humility pays a way for a man. Bible says that if a man humbles himself, the Lord will lift him up. And everyone that lifts himself up, the Lord brings him down. Let's learn humility. Lastly, the last charm I'm sharing with you, we can attract authentic man, is having a high sense of gratitude and appreciation. Beloved, there are many of us today who do not have a sense of gratitude. What we have is a sense of entitlement. There are people who think that they are entitled for this, they are entitled for that because I'm working in this company, I'm entitled for this, I'm entitled for that. Because I'm in this marriage, I'm a wife, I am a husband, I am entitled for this, I'm entitled for that. Because I am your son, you are my father, I am entitled for this, I'm entitled for that. Because I am a pastor in the church, because I'm an associate pastor, because I am a Bible teacher, because I am a lecturer, I'm a doctor, people are wearing entitlement mentality everywhere they go, and that is not good enough. We need to rather show a high sense of gratitude and appreciation that what people go on their way to do for us, it is not because we are entitled for them, that because they feel like doing it for us. It is by grace. And therefore we become appreciative, we become grateful. There are many of us, many people have done a lot for us, but we don't remember because we are not grateful. We think that we were entitled to them. I am telling a young person listening to me, you need to go back to your father and say thank you. You may have to go back to your mother and say thank you. You may have to go back to your former boss and say thank you very much for the training. You may have to go back to your current boss, your current director, the CEO, your pastor. You may have to go back to your husband, your wife, and say thank you very much for everything you've been doing for me. You are not entitled to it. People that show appreciation, they get more. The more you are grateful, the more you'll be blessed with more. So, beloved, today I've come on your way sharing with you very important lessons using Ruth as a case study. The title was How to Win or What Wins an Authentic Man, the charm of Ruth. Ruth won the authentic man on the land called Boaz. What did Ruth use? Ruth did not use her nakedness. She did not use sex. She did not do anything. She did not bribe Boaz. But she used certain attitudes I call charm. And that is what I've shared with you, that we need to have sense of responsibility, ability to think outside the box, ability to initiate a course of action, having a know-how, a skill, displaying the right way of doing the right thing, becoming courteous, polite, civil, being focused on what you are doing everywhere. People are watching you. You must display hard-working spirit. You must have ability to overcome distraction. You must know the place and time. If it's out the workplace, it's not, you must know that it is not a romantic place. And that is the time. This time I have been sent to do ABC. It is not the time for romance. You must know that it's not the time for jokes. People are watching you. Your readiness to sacrifice. It is a key. It is a charm to attract an authentic man, and then showing humility and gratitude. Thank you very much. I have been your teacher, Dr. Rabbi Emmanuel Chimesiankra, the General Overseer of Logos Chapel Worldwide. This is Word Power. Catch you live once again, same time next week, Wednesday. Follow us on Facebook, Logos Chapel Worldwide on Facebook, Logos Chapel Worldwide on YouTube, and then Logos TV. We have many, many, many great things to share with you. May the Lord bless you and keep you and show his face on you and be gracious unto you. In Jesus' name. Amen. Bye-bye.